Most older guys look creepy to younger women, and they have no idea why. And it's not because you're older. It's because your brain is running the wrong script every time you see a pretty girl. In this video, I'm going to show you the switch that flips you from nervous, weird, avoid this dude to wait. Who is this guy, and why does he make me feel so good to be around him? And it all happens in the first 3 seconds. Right now, your brain is twisting your energy the second a cute girl shows up. It turns you into the version of yourself you can't stand. And if you don't fix this, every younger woman you meet is going to feel that off energy and mentally tap out the moment you open your mouth. But once you fix this one thing, once you drop yourself into the correct perception frame, now you suddenly become the man that women lean into, the man they notice, the man they remember. Let me ask you something. You ever been out somewhere and a younger woman walks on in? She's in her mid-20s, she's got great energy, and she stands right next to you, and instantly your chest locks up. Your voice, it like disappears, and your brain starts thinking, all right, man, don't be weird. Don't be creepy here. Don't screw this up. And you want to say something to her, but you freeze. And then she walks away, and you're just replaying that moment in your head for the next 2 weeks, kicking yourself the whole time. Well, one of my clients in his mid-50s, he had that same exact issue. He went from giving off this don't come near me energy to sexy older James Bond in one conversation, just by flipping this one lens I'm going to show you. Hey, I'm Jesse Keaton. I've been coaching men for over 20 years now, and I help you older guys get that younger girlfriend you actually want. And this is the good news. With the right perception frame, your age stops mattering. Your past rejections stop mattering. Younger women will relax around you. They will open up to you and break their own rules for you without even knowing why. And by the end of this video, you're going to know how to walk into a room and make any younger, beautiful woman feel pulled toward you before you even say a word to her. And I'm going to give you the exact perception frame that does about 80% of the work for you. Once you hear this, you're never going to look at women the same way ever again. All right, so let's break this down as simple as possible. Most guys think that their words are what really matters, but her body reacts to you way before that, in the very first half second before you even open your mouth. So what she feels in that moment isn't based just on what you say. It's based on the perception frame that you're setting for her once you notice her. Think of the perception frame as like the lens that your brain switches into once you first spot her. And whatever lens that you're using, your behavior is going to follow according to that lens you're using. So how you see her, how you perceive her is how you're going to behave, how you're going to act. And how you act is exactly how she's going to judge you back. You can have a great plan, a bunch of fantastic lines you want to use, a great opener, you can have it all, but if your perception frame is bad, if that lens is wrong, you're still going to come across as nervous and creepy to her. So what I'm going to do now is give you the exact perception frame, the lens you want to start perceiving women through. This is the same one that I use myself. And I'm going to show you how every other one falls flat on its face and why you want to avoid them at all costs. All right, so the first perception frame that you don't want to use is seeing that woman in front of you as just a pretty face, where you mentally rate her from 1 to 10. Oh, she's an 8. Oh, she's a 9. Oh, she's my perfect 10. Because the second you do that, now your brain is going to go into this performance mode. Oh, I have to say something to impress her. I have to say the perfect thing. Oh, no, man, you can't mess this up. And then you know what's going to happen next. You're going to start talking too fast, too quickly. You're going to start mumbling and stumbling over all your words. Everything about yourself is going to start giving off this nervous, needy energy because you want it to work so badly, because you're just seeing her as a pretty face. And that girl's going to feel that pretty much instantly. I was talking to this guy recently. He was in his mid-50s, and he stepped onto an elevator, and there was this gorgeous woman there, about 30-ish or so, and she actually smiled at him first, and she said, "Hey, how's your night going?" But his brain just jumped into this panic mode because he was using the wrong perception frame. He was just viewing her as this pretty face from 1 to 10. So all he managed to do was give her this weird little half nod. And she got off on the next stop, and he told me it felt like he had been punched in the gut. He said to me, Jesse, she literally opened the door for me in a sense, and I just froze up. Another perception frame, a lens in which you see women that's just gonna stab you in the back every single time, is walking around feeling like you need to have a girlfriend. Is this woman my future girlfriend? So when you see a woman, a beautiful woman, as the answer or not to your loneliness, you're going to start leaking out these tiny signals of neediness, where your body just tightens up. Your voice gets high, you start talking too fast, and she can just feel that you're putting her up on a pedestal. And every time you pedestalize a woman, you make yourself feel small, and then you start acting weird. Now, if the perception frame you're using is she's just a person, now you've got a completely different problem. You know, viewing her as a person, that sounds harmless enough, but it also kills the attraction. Because when you see her as just a person, now you behave like you're talking to a cashier. You're too polite, you're too neutral, you're too flat. There's no tension, there's no spark there, there's no sexual polarity going on. And when you see her as a stranger or as a person, now you're going too far in the other direction. You're overly cautious, you're overly polite, you're tiptoeing through an interaction, and she's gonna mirror that energy right back to you. She's gonna be too distant, she's gonna be too cold. Now, another perception frame you can use to view the woman, but it's still problematic, is seeing her as a friend. Like, even though you just met her, you're gonna perceive her as a friend that you've known for the last couple of years. Like, you already know her. Now, this frame is better, okay? It removes some of the pressure off your shoulders. You're gonna feel more relaxed. You're not gonna be overthinking things so much. But it also drops you straight into this friend zone vibe, where there's no edge, there's no flirtation, there's a lack of tension. You come across as this safe guy that she could just unload her problems onto, okay? Not the guy that she's sexually attracted to. The bottom line is that your perception frame, the way you're viewing this girl, the lens in which you're viewing her is gonna change your behavior. It's gonna change the way you talk to her, the way you act. And if that perception frame is cracked, if it's warped incorrectly, then it's gonna make you act weird, and that's gonna turn her off. Another way to think of this is that women mirror back whatever energy, whatever vibe you give them. They're like a mirror, okay? They reflect back whatever you're giving them. So if your vibe, if your energy is coming across as anxious or nervous, she's gonna feel that in her own body. She's gonna wanna pull away. It's gonna make her anxious. It's gonna make her feel nervous. She's gonna look for an excuse to dip out of that conversation. So if your frame is, oh, she's a hot girl, she's an 8, she's a 9, she's a 10, your body is gonna get fired up with its nerves, and the second you walk on over to talk to her, she's gonna feel that nervous tension in her own system. It's gonna make her nervous herself. Now, on the other extreme, if your perception frame, if the lens you're viewing her through is just, oh, she's just another person, now you're gonna give off this flat, apathetic, neutral energy to her. And she's gonna reflect that back to you like a mirror, okay? She's gonna be distant, she's gonna be apathetic, she's gonna be polite with no real emotion going on. I was working with this one guy and he had a crush on this barista girl. Okay, cute girl, young, super friendly. But every time that he got to the counter to order, his brain just dropped into this terrible perception frame. He'd be telling himself, oh, she's so young, she's gorgeous, she's just out of my league, okay? Terrible perception frame. And the moment he did that, everything tightened up. He got nervous, his voice tightened up, he could barely speak. And of course, she felt all that instantly. That girl's energy just shifted into short, polite answers, kind of a forced fake smile with no real spark at all. And that's the part that most guys just don't realize, that she becomes whatever you feel. And without knowing it, most men are creating the exact reaction that they're afraid of getting. So what do you want to do instead, guys? Well, here's the correct perception frame you want to start using. This is the lens you want to start perceiving women through. Okay, you're not going to label her as a stranger. You're not going to give her a rating from 1 to 10. You're not walking around looking for a girlfriend. You're not going to see her as a target or a challenge or a goddess you put up on a pedestal. somebody you need to impress. You're not going to do any of that stuff. The perception frame that you want to start using instead is this. That woman that I see over there, she's a flirtatious girl who's already a little bit curious about me. And that's it. She's a cute girl who's already leaning into me a little bit. She's already open to the moment. She's already giving me good energy. The perception frame you're using, the lens you're viewing women through is, well, she's already into me at least a little bit on some level. Let's just see how much that is. And when you pre-assume that she's already curious about you, now the pressure disappears. It's off your shoulders because you're not trying to win anything. You're not trying to perform here. You're not necessarily chasing after her because she's already chasing after you a little bit. And this is the exact perception frame I like to use myself. Okay, I've got a couple others. I like to switch between them, but this is one of the easiest places to start. When I see an attractive woman over there, I just pre-assume that she's curious about me. I pre-assume that she's somewhat interested in me. She's not obsessed. I don't view her as being in love. I just imagine she's curious and she's playful, she's flirtatious, she's open to a little bit of flirtation. And when you use that perception frame to view the girl, when you view her through that lens, guess what? Your whole vibe, your whole behavior will naturally change. You're gonna give her a warmer smile. You're gonna give her better eye contact. Your voice is gonna sound a lot more calm, a lot more masculine, a lot more grounded. You're gonna tease her more. And you're going to stop giving off that needy edge, that needy energy. What your perception frame of her is, she's already curious about me. She's already a little bit into me. Now you can become present in that conversation. Actually be there with her in the conversation. Talk to her like a normal human being with a little bit of flirtation on your part. More teasing, more challenging, instead of just trying to impress her. And here's the really cool part about all that. When you show up with the frame that she's already curious about you, she's already slightly interested in you, she's going to reflect that energy back. So when you're relaxed, she relaxes. When you're playful with her, she gets playful with you. When you're confident, she feels confident stepping into the moment. So it turns into sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if you walk in nervous, tense, expecting things to go badly, you're going to get a nervous, tense energy from her back. It's going to create the exact outcome that you're afraid of. But if you walk in assuming that she's already curious about you, that she's already a little bit into you, things will tend to go a lot better. And she usually does end up being more into you. Now, by the way, this is what one of the guys wrote in and told me. He said, Jesse, I got to tell you, what you're teaching here is priceless. I'm going to skip ahead. He says, she came over the other day. We kissed for the first time. And now she's messaging me like every single day. Gentlemen, this stuff works when you run it in the right way. So here's what I built. It's called Attraction Autopilot, my 12-week coaching program where you work directly with me. I personally walk you through the full structure, the entire step-by-step process where all you have to do is follow along with the steps I give you. And when you do that, the anxiety, it drops away. The hesitation disappears. Now you know exactly what to do, what to say, and the system brings women into your life consistently, where it's not a bunch of random theories, it's not some random tips, it's a sequence that creates for you dates, chemistry, and momentum, no matter what your age is. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? This is not gonna happen overnight. This is not 12 hours or 12 days. This takes 12 weeks to get yourself on sure footing in dating beautiful women. And although I do automate the process for you as much as possible, you do need to show up. But if you do, now you can become the kind of man that younger women are just drawn to without even knowing why themselves. So if you're interested in applying the program to work directly with me, I put a link in the description below. Click on that link and you can book a free strategy call with me. That call is completely free. Absolutely no pressure at all. I turn down more guys than I accept. And if it turns out I feel like you're just not right for the program or I just can't work with you for whatever reason, at the very least, you're going to find out a lot about yourself and what you should be doing next in your dating life. Now, watch this video next. If you want to learn how to twist anything a girl says, effectively hijack every sentence that comes out of her mouth to getting her more and more obsessed with you. This is how to use filters to your own advantage. This is a conversation technique to get that girl chasing after you based off everything she says. So go watch that video right now.